Hello, hello, hello. This is Carib Carter Clues, and welcome to Mike Cobb's Offshore Investment Report. You know, we've been going through the book. Mike Cobb's Consumer Resource Guide, the best book ever written on offshore investment, the best. And you can get it free. There we go at ECI. Just say, send me the book. It is the book, capital T, capital B. Today, we have gone through 1 through 6. Today, Mike, let's do numbers 7 and 8 on the most important questions, the critical questions people need to ask. What do you
Hello,
say?
Carter. You catch me in a lot of hotel rooms, and once again, I am in a hotel room. So
you're in a hotel room in Vegas this time, right?
That's right. I'm here at the Tuscany Hotel presenting to the Canadian Financial Planners Association called Pro Seminars. They do a whole lot of continuing education programs all over Canada. They run literally maybe 150, 200 seminars in tons of cities, small towns all over Canada for financial planners, insurance agents to keep their continuing education CE credits active. But then once a year, they bring a couple hundred of them here to Las Vegas, and they do their annual event, and it's all the CE credits as well. But we have been presenting to this group now for probably 15 years, and right. I would say maybe we've come to their national event. Maybe this is our 5th or 6th national event, so about every other year, maybe not quite every other year. So yeah, it's good. And Carter, one of the things I just presented to them yesterday, what I talked to them about was this: the consumer resource.
Fantastic! Wow, that is great. Hold it up again, folks.
Yeah,
this is a real book. This is the book.
Well, hang on, I'll tell you how many pages it is. It's
110. 110. Let me guess.
110. Thank you. I was going to say I have to get my glasses out to see the print on the bottom. But anyway, yeah, 110 pages. And it's a great book. And this is what I presented on. Because, look, at the end of the day, these guys and ladies all have, hundreds of clients, right? And so, this is their opportunity to serve their clients who are looking for property overseas. TD Waterhouse did a survey, and what they found was 45% of Canadians plan to spend a month or more outside of Canada, every year. And, I'm guessing right. It's winter time, right? And it's funny because, we think about, like, as you go north in the United States, I did this drive once up through New York State, right? From Pennsylvania up through New York State to get up to I can't remember what it's called, like the Thousand Islands area. It's the very east end of Lake Ontario. Right. And as I get from, can't remember the towns, whatever, I'm driving up, I'm Syracuse. And then all of a sudden for the last 100 miles, there's nothing in the US. It's just empty, right? It's just because it's the empty North Quarter, right? As soon as you get into Canada, it's population. I mean, and so then I took the 401, the Queens Highway 401 west over to Ontario, and that's where my meetings were. But what I realized was, as you get further and further north in the U.S., less and less people live there. But as soon as you get to Canada, I can't remember the stat, 90% of all Canadians live within 100 miles of the U.S. border. But we're thinking, man, it's way cold up here. We get to South Dakota, North Dakota, there's nobody living there because it's cold, right? And then Canada and everybody's there, right? So, 45% of Canadians plan to spend a month or more outside of Canada. I mean, I get it. I mean, right? I mean, it's cold. And so these folks are the financial planners from all over Canada, every province, many of the cities. And so they are now able to put this resource into the hands of their clients, right? And help these clients get it right the first time. Because obviously we've talked about the first, 5-6 questions. I think you said 7 and 8 today. Is that right? 7 and 8.
We've talked about the 6. And when I lived the first home I bought, speaking of Canadians, first home I bought in Honduras was in a little community called Vista Bonita, right?
Yeah.
Every one of my neighbors was Canadian. Yeah. Every one of them. I'm talking 5 or 6 people. They had just moved. They had it. And Charlotte Tweed, the editor of Insiders Magazine at the Offshore Club, Canadian. And I got to be honest with you, I don't think Charlotte's ever moving back.
Oh, I'm pretty sure she is not. That is a true statement.
She's in Mexico now, and then she's going to your new development in the Azores. In Portugal.
That's correct.
So she's found much better weather. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And it's funny, people think about Europe and it's kind of north and it's cold, but the Azores are out in the Atlantic Ocean. So they've really got this moderated climate because of the Gulf Stream. And so, temperatures, like the lowest temperatures in the wintertime maybe are I'm talking Celsius here at this Canadian conference, but Fahrenheit temperatures in the in the 50s and 60s in the wintertime, low, highs 60s and 70s. But then in the in the summertime, the temperatures are in the 60s and 70s at night, maybe low 80s in the day. So you don't have a big temperature range. You've got this kind of, I would call it always spring all the time.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's tremendous climate. So yeah, she'll be there for 3 months. She and her husband, they're going to house sit our new villa as
Daryl,
we
yeah.
as we locate a couple. We're looking for a couple, probably a German couple, to come and kind of take over as host and hostess of the villa and manor house. So yeah, good stuff.
You remember we did an interview, one of our episodes from the Azores, and it was simply gorgeous. And having a new Mike Cobb community there, folks, get in line now, because I'm telling you, that's going to sell out quick, Mike. It's going to sell out quick when you finally get it open.
Yeah. Yes, it will.
I think it's Cluesville, right? Is that the name of it when they write it? Okay. I just wanted to make sure. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
So here we go. Number 7, folks, of your top 15 key critical questions to ask when buying real estate overseas by, the Offshore Investment Oracle. Here we go. Number 7. Are there amenities for use by owners and visitors? This is part of your buy what you see. Are there amenities available for use by owners and visitors? Yeah. Elaborate on that a little bit for us, because it's vitally important.
It sure is, Carter. Yeah. And it is part of buy what you see, because either those exist or they don't. So it's very visual and empirical, right? But they also really segment well into the second broad concept of own community. And so we have 3 basic principles. We have the 15 questions, which actually, if you look at some of the questions, there's multiple questions inside one, right?
Oh yeah.
And there's 23 questions, right? And I might actually have to redo this and spread them out and say the 25 questions, right? Because I think that's probably more. Yeah, right. So next edition we'll do that. But what we've really come up with are 3 principles, because nobody can remember 15, let alone 25 questions to ask. I mean, that's just insane, right? But we've come up with 3 principles. Buy what you see, which you mentioned. If it's there, it's there. If it's not there, maybe it will be, maybe it won't, right? So the price should reflect reality. That's the buy what you see idea. The second one is own community. And again, a lot of these kind of overlap too, right? The amenities are there or they're not there. Buy what you see. But the thing about amenities that are really important is this concept of owning community. Because just imagine one of these Canadians, right, or US, it doesn't matter, whoever, they're leaving their job, for example, they're retiring. So they leave their job, then they leave their hometown where they've known lots of people, maybe at the church or at the Rotary Club or just whatever. I mean, just neighbors, whatever. They have a network. They have a social network of people they know, and they're moving someplace totally new where they probably know nobody, right?
Yes.
And so if you don't have, they're called third spaces. That's sort of the jargon in the urban development business, right? Third spaces. People talk about their first space, which is home, second space, which is office or work. Third space is recreational space, right?
Third spaces. Good.
Third spaces,
okay, good,
right.
good.
And so these third spaces are really important, because for example, you move somewhere and let's say that there are no amenities, there is no clubhouse, right? How do you actually meet the other people who live around you? I mean, randomly you can meet them, and it does happen, of course. But if there's a clubhouse, if there's a bar, for example, at our Grand Pacifica community, we have a beautiful bar that overlooks an infinity pool that looks directly west. And it's this congregating point many evenings, almost probably every evening, there's some group of people, but I think a couple, 3 nights a week, there's sort of a big group of people that get down there. They come down, they have some drinks, they watch the sunset together. And, if you're a new person at Grand Pacifica, right, about it because we publish that stuff. And so now there's this third space, right, where people can get together, get to know one another and make new friends, build new community. And so these amenities and third spaces are really, really important for community. They're also important, obviously, for, what I would call just singular activity. Hey, there's a bar. I can go get a drink. There's a restaurant. I can go get something to eat. There's a pool or a tennis court or a golf course. I can go enjoy those amenities, right? So there's sort of what I would call the primary piece, the singular objective, but truly for quality of life, the community element, these third spaces allow the creation of real community where you can build new friends, new relationships. Absolutely critically important. Yes.
Critically important. And also in those third spaces, the one thing you don't want is you go by, look at a new community, let's say Honduras, El Salvador, Nicaragua, anywhere down there, and the developer says to you, oh yeah, and there's going to be a golf course over here.
Uh-huh. Yeah, there's that word, Carter. We're gonna build a golf course. And in fact, it's interesting because as we get further into the questions, I don't remember what question is, but the third concept is know the developer. So we have buy what you see, own community, know the developer, right? Those are the three principles. And so we'll talk about gonna later, because what we're gonna do, I don't know, maybe not, right? So but we'll save that one for another day so we don't bog down on it.
But that is the, in your little write-up here, folks, this isn't, go to page, I think it's 16. Okay, when you get your book, go to page 16 and review these questions. Okay, there you go. Here's the one we're talking about right now. Okay, look there. That's there. It's not going to be. It's there because you did your due diligence following question number 7 here. If you go, let's take Grand Pacifica, okay, which my favorite residential resort community, the best. The community you and Joe Nagel built in Nicaragua, 3.5 miles of beachfront. But you say here, is there a golf course, restaurant, bar, tennis court, fitness center, dock? All of it is there.
Yep.
And people can see it. Buy what you say here. Buy what you see. That's number 7. That's vital.
It is. And when you go play golf, you're probably not playing by yourself. You're fine. You'll meet somebody at the sunset, sunset drinks or whatever, and they'll be talking about playing golf. And next thing you know, you're out on a foursome playing golf the next day or a day later. Right. And so all of these really hang together pretty well. So do the amenities exist? Are they there? And who's enjoying them? So Carter, that's right. Yep.
Vital. Number 7. Number 8. This is a must. It's a must, and people overlook it. Number 8, are there state-of-the-art telecommunications or fiber optics for fast and reliable worldwide communications? So often people assume, oh, well, there must be, everywhere has it. No, it doesn't. No, it does not.
Right.
No, it does not. So elaborate on that for us. It's another buy what you see. It's another community thing.
Yep.
You coined the term, the remote revolution. You coined the term. People moving and working away from the office, preferably offshore, where it's the good life at a great price. What about the telecommunications? What have you seen in some places where it's just not there?
Yeah, it can be dismal, right? It can truly be dismal, and the reality is there are two elements to, telecommunications infrastructure. One is what I'm going to call the national backbone, right? And the national backbone, there's nothing any developer or builder can do about, right? It is what it is. And so different countries have different, backbones, different bandwidth allocations. Let's just call it that, right? Or whatever. So, for example, a country like Costa Rica, the telecommunication system is a government monopoly, and we know what government monopolies look like, right? It's challenging. Now, they've done a good job of keeping up with things, but I prefer free market, because then you've got real competition. You've got, hey, if I don't like my bandwidth or service on this provider, I can switch to another one. So these guys are always, trying to beat each other to the next, thing, right? And so the consumer wins, and that's really, really an important fundamental piece. So you've got, and in Belize, you don't have a government monopoly, but you have sort of a private sector monopoly. There's one big telecommunications company, and it's owned by a very rich and powerful man there. And so you kind of still have some of the same monopolistic stuff. So
Yeah.
of all the countries, it's kind of weird. Belize and Costa Rica probably have, the least good internet. Panama has tremendous internet. Nicaragua, of all countries, tremendous internet. And so that's what I'm going to call the national component. And so again, nobody can do anything about that in the short term, right? It is what it is, right?
Yeah.
Then you've got the developer component or the builder component. So let's say that you've got, and in all cases, the builder developer has this ability. Whatever the backbone is, whatever the bandwidth they can plug into is what it is. But what have they done on site, on property, to ensure that whatever the best the country has to offer, they can access it, or the clients who own properties can access. And there's where the rubber really meets the road, because, if you shortcut that kind of stuff as a developer, because it is expensive, then you've kind of, hampered your client's ability to get really fast internet. So at Grand Pacifica back in 2004, 2005, we installed fiber optic to every address, right? And it's not quite unlimited bandwidth, but fiber can, carry a lot of bandwidth, a lot more than most people or even companies use. And so we kind of put in a system that would be able to deliver what I'm going to call infinite bandwidth, right? Kind of infinite, not really, but a bit of plenty. I mean, it's fiber, right? And so things have moved on, and now we're obviously moving into, to the broadband, the Wi-Fi, things like that. And so we're evolving with those milestones in the technological arena. However, the fact that we have fiber from our microwave links, so we microwave our internet back to the ARC cable, which is the true fiber backbone running up and down the Americas, right? This is ARC2 cable. Anyway, so we microwave point to point to an ARC2 location, and they drop it right into the channel of the Americas, right? The fiber backbone of the Americas for telecommunications. So we've really done what we need to do as a company to be able to deliver that high-speed bandwidth to the clients at whatever the bandwidth allows. And we do the same thing in Belize. Again, the backbone there is controlled, but again, this remote revolution, Carter, just real quick, I know we're going to run out of time in a second, but I think everybody kind of thinks digital nomads, and we kind of, and I think I do too. We kind of think young people, right? People in their 30s, and woohoo, But think about this. This is the marketplace where we're starting to really kind of figure out how to talk to it, right? We haven't quite figured out how to talk to it yet, but we're working on it. Retirees who always thought, when I retire, here's the gonna word, I'm gonna move to Belize, right?
Yeah.
I love to dive, or I love to fish, or when I retire, I'm gonna, right? Well, now all of a sudden, for many people in their, boomers, people in their, 50s, right? Like me, I'm sitting in a hotel room in Las Vegas. I'm working. It doesn't matter, right? So, like, if I was thinking I want to retire to Costa Rica or Belize or Nicaragua, whatever, when I retire, I actually don't have to anymore, right? Because I can do my job from anywhere. I do my job from anywhere.
Anywhere.
There are a ton of baby boomers who no longer have to wait until they retire to enjoy the lifestyle that they want to enjoy in retirement. And so this particular demographic, I think, is a powerful one, and to be able to serve people with this, they can have their lifestyle in their 50s and 60s. They don't have to wait until their late 60s and 70s to begin to enjoy it. They can go live and work from some new location and enjoy the lifestyle that they've always dreamed of having. So yes, the remote revolution depends upon high-speed internet and telecommunications generally. And it is a bunch of the young people, millennials, but it's also can be a whole bunch of boomers who go to their preferred, can't wait till I get their destinations for whatever they love to do. They can dive and fish and snorkel on the weekends, or go out early in the morning, right, and do that, and then come back and work their jobs, from anywhere. So this is a neat part of the remote revolution that, again, we're just starting to figure out how to talk to it and how to market to it. So, yeah,
absolutely. And I want to emphasize, particularly for baby boomers, because with the millennials, they're tech savvy. They were born to it, right? But millennials, I need to emphasize to them, don't accept somebody saying, oh yeah, we got great high-speed internet, here's a little thing you need to do. Don't just say, oh yeah, look, I can download whatever your favorite. Check the upload. Mike, am I right?
Yeah,
Check
absolutely.
the upload. Baby
Yes.
boomers, be very careful. I have a place in West Virginia. I can download anything. But when it comes to uploading,
Can't. Yeah.
and this is West Virginia. So you can imagine in some of these countries
Yeah.
that we're urging people to get your Plan B escape route ready for, take a look at. Take Mike's advice. Number 8, check
Yep.
out the state-of-the-art communications, which is
Yeah.
fantastic.
Absolutely.
This is good stuff. This is good stuff.
It is.
And now now are these Canadians you're going to talk to? I guess they're all age brackets, right?
Well, they're financial planners, and so they tend
yeah.
to be more 50s and 60s, because I think look, if you're gonna let somebody manage your money, you probably want to see some gray hair or no hair. Right? Yeah.
Yeah. Don't count on somebody with this much hair to manage your money, especially this guy.
Yeah, exactly. But
That's
there's the whole wisdom thing, right? You don't give somebody a bunch of money who's in their 20s. They've never been through an up and a down cycle, so they tend to be people maybe 40s and up. But I've got to say, I mean, I met a couple guys yesterday who are very, very excited. They're financial planners, and they're probably in their 30s. So again, it skews to the older age, just because, again, people trust the wisdom of older people in managing their money, but it's not limited to that. So yeah.
So give them the book. Give them the book. You got it right, folks.
Yeah.
This book is vital. Mike, excellent. We did 7 and 8. We got 7 to go. Excellent. Fantastic.
We'll get there, Carter. We'll get there.
We'll get there. Thanks for covering this with us, and thanks for writing the book. And we'll talk to you next week. Excellent. Excellent. Folks, get the book. Get this book. That wisdom that Mike is, knowledge and wisdom, both that he's dispensing, invaluable, priceless when it comes to making your move offshore. Get the book. Let's do this thing.